Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, innovating, and amazing propaganda cast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda, heroes like defender of the fatherland, off here to a glorious 1v1. Oh, you guessed it, it is the wonderful Bokash. In the north, it is Silly Cat, fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union. Comrade Stalin here with the 3rd Guard Tank Corps with Guard Motor Coordination Tactics with T-35s, Heavy Mortars, Guard Rod Infantry, Vehicle Crew Repair Training, and Marked Vehicle. Triple Infantry. From the south, it is Orange Pest, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Here with the 1st Panzer Division featuring Jaeger Infantry, Strategic Reserves, and Lightning War. The Panzer IV, well, penetrated what is in Pack 40 Panzerfaust here. And as always, a big, hearty, and sincere thanks to my page supporters, champions, and heroes, one and all. Other people can join the ranks of my Patreon page and support the propaganda cast and help me keep going for as many years as possible. Always, you can donate via PayPal, links in the description for both, and finally, commenting, liking, sharing, subscribing, all that also helps out the propaganda cast. So, double conflicts here versus Grenadier MD42, fairly standard openings, conflicting for the Eastern Victory Point here, Pioneers moving up. West side, we got the MD42 and Grenadiers moving in there. 3rd conflict squad there for Silly Cat. So far, fairly standard openings. He'll probably go for triple conscripts, Dungeoneers. That is a, with Guard Motor, a fairly standard opening, since that way you then rely on a minimum amount of infantry and then put more elite infantry like the Guards rather than in there. So that's how it says the standard there. Build order as of late for the Soviets, very much conventional. Plus, with early engineers, you can be doing more mines, go for more flamethrowers more easily, for example. Plus, of course, later on, you also just get the ability to repair stuff. So it's a very much, I would say, tried and tested sort of build order as of late. Sandbags in the car point, so likely what Silly Cat's going to go for, but there are always surprises. Worth noting here that Orange Pest with an aggressive dive towards the western fuel point there, leaving his own fuel in a bit of gap at the same time. Could surprise here Silly Cat and throw off their own calculations. 2nd Grenadier Squad ready there. And there we go, 2nd Grenadier Squad there for Silly Cat. Sandbags almost done. We got the MD42. This is really ballsy by the Orange Pest. If this fails, of course, he's going to be in some deep shice. But on the other hand, of course, if this works out perfectly, it's going to be like, you know, pressuring his opponent in ways that might frustrate Silly Cat and cause him to make mistakes. So that's the obviously the sneaky part with this. If it works, great, but if it backfires, you're in a lot of trouble. So high risk, high reward. And so far, at least, the risk has yet to be incurred here for Orange Pest. And the south here point, they're secured. Pioneers routed here. Commander-wise, I mean, we sort of consider like the overall tactics here, like Jaeger Infantry, I think a good addition there, ambush training, Jaeger Light Infantry upgrades, you know, all those abilities really sort of, you know, support such an aggressive strategy. You could also like go for strategic reserves, like some assault grenades to mix in with all this, and then maybe into like a fast Panzer IV Model J. That could be also like fairly potent here for Orange Pest. Going for the cop and then with the conscripts. Of course, there's the sort of, say, in between of Lightning War, which, you know, is also fairly solid here. We'll have to see, but there you go. Silly Cat, they're showing they too can hit aggressively, going straight here for the car point and laying down sandbags. Really both aggressive players here, looking to exploit as much here and get some action in, and that is great to see. Pioneers moving out. And we got Tech there for Orange Pest. No Chancellor Commander yet there for Orange Pest. We shall see. Wehrmacht not quite having access to a Guard Motor level commander that just makes things super easy. And when we kind of had Jaeger Infantry, they nerfed that. Northern Field then grabbing the Engineers. Looks like it's going to double back the MD42 there. Constantly being routed here. Grabbing these on the field point. So, I mean, again, we can sort of see, despite, you know, this opening, but not being told this particularly well, the opening isn't ultimately is long-term as strong. And of course, that depended, of course, on the quality of play. Like, had Silly Cat been like a mediocre player, this would have worked out beautifully. They've been completely disrupted because Silly Cat is a fairly strong player. They're not as quite as perturbed by this development, as able to respond and adapt their plans and camping orders in response to Orange Pest maneuvers. So we can sort of see that that's the sort of stuff we're dealing with here. Flamethrower Engineers ready for, of course, Silly Cat. Rifle Grenade off there, quick retreating there. Note the German Rifle Grenade worked by attaching a little device on top of the rifle known as a Schießbackup, a shooting cup, before then firing the Rifle Grenade. That power could also be applied to other German weapons like the Gewehr 43 and even the Sturmgewehr. Apparently could work with that little device there. So, bit of an interesting one there for those curious. Grab these 10 points here. They could also fire anti-tank grenades, though they weren't particularly impressive after a certain point. But it was an option. Like to make a nice comeback for Orange Pest. Fast rush ahead there. Probably an armoured car. Always a classic there amongst the Wehrmacht players. personally, I'm more a 250.5 track man, unless like there's a light vehicle that really requires a 2-to-2 response, but otherwise, I do prefer the 250.5 track. Bring up the eastern side here, going straight for the fuel point there again. We can see there, Silly Cat there, having, you know, gained the momentum away here from Orange Pest, is now looking to hit hard. They're clearly going for that armored car, so doesn't want to like, spend manpower on something else. And still no commander. It is a bit tough here to say what he's planning, but if you sort of consider his aggressive tactics so far, Jaeger Infantry does feel like where things might land. Sandbags up here again. Note Silly Cat here being very thorough with the sandbags, very consistent. There we go, Orange Pest with the 2-to-2. 222, like the Punches Spielwagen. Pioneers closing in the conscripts. Trying to set them up part close. Note this was one of two very early armoured cars by the German army. There's also the Achtrad, or 231, which is the predecessor to the armoured car the Puma would be based off. In most cases, very similar with some key differences in the overall design, including the turret and the engine. As a fun fact, we got Guard Squad there for Silly Cat. And we can see that he's really, you know, focused on the western side part because, again, Silly Cat doesn't need well defended. Though, again, he's kind of doing the same with these. But now we have the armored car, a much more mobile element here, which is typically like one of those small advantages that they in most cases have against us. So it's like they have this small window where they can like maybe hit a bit harder than motorized and mechanized strategies against the Soviets before they get hit by something harder. So that way they can potentially like push back the opponents and control the infantry movement a bit better. They're not always. Guardsmen there equipped with the DP light machines in a few seconds. Got the fuel pump now under neutral. MG42 probably should be able to support a bit faster. So we can see Orange Pest definitely going rather hard across the map here against Silly Cat. But you can sort of see like it's starting to strain his forces already here as Silly Cat hits back harder here with some Guards, Rifleman Infantry. And there we go. Ultimately, as expected, Jaeger Infantry with the Jaeger Command Squad. 5-man. What is effectively a Grenadier Squad already with ambush camouflage, but also 3 G43s. That's really good. Plus smoke grenades and flares. Not that most people have used the smoke grenades or the flares, but it's there. Clearing up the sandbags with the armored car, very good. T-Sun lights hanging away, of course, going to force a Pack 40 for Orange Pest, or it could try with multiple armored cars. Bit of a rare one, but it can kind of work if you got the skills and you got the right map for it. And I think Bukhash is one of those maps where it can kind of work. We can use, of course, the T-Sun to be a lot more careful about what he does, but certain maps are not really suited for that counter tactic, though. Yeah, Command Squad aim towards the centre here. Engineers Guard conform towards the centre here. Sandbags up here again. Very consistent sandbagging here from Silly Cat. Some players sort of have a medium consistency about that, others not so much, but Silly Cat is clearly one of those players just like, you know, absolutely all about those sandbags. He's pushing ahead. You can see that Orange Pest still playing up the aggression. Very good to see there. And going also for the G43 and the ambush camouflage. Excellent to see that. Like some people neglect like just getting ambush camouflage on their Grenadiers, but it's, you know, still quite handy even after they nerfed it. Also, that was a really nice feint with the rifle grenade. If Silly Cat had aimed intention, that could have been quite devastating. Really good aggressive tactics here by Orange Pest, even in the face of the T-70. He's bringing up the Pack 40. Die Panzerabwehrkanone 40. And ambush camouflage then put as well. Beautiful. Unless you're the one on the receiving end of that. In which case, you're probably not quite as appreciative of it. Armor coming up here. Ground most in point. Got the armor coming in. And we got the Haymortar on the way there for Silly Cat. An excellent addition there. Again, one of the reasons why Guard Motors are so popular, besides the Guards from the T-35s, which is just individually great and even amazing together, the Haymortar just adds like another strong element to the commander. And I argue like Guard Motors just, in all of Company 2 history, just straight up the best commander. By far. I remember back in the day when you could call like 2 T-35s for the commander, for example. I was just nuts. And then you change to like 1 call, and then you just change like you can build them. And even just there, it's like, you know, has continually just been a very, very strong commander. Simply because, again, of this just sheer flexibility of what it offers. North, Jaeger Command can push back the Guards from the conscripts. Strong push here. Good that Orange Pest is an aggressive player, because the Hey Mortar will always be, I think, much more punishing if it was like a defensive player right here versus Silly Cat. With aggressive tactic and pressure the Heavy Mortar itself more, and even like have a tiny chance of grabbing it. But the Hey Mortar, of course, has the rather unique element in Companies 2. It's basically manned only by one guy, whereas most mortars, there's a smaller bar, is manned by two. And animated as such, meaning like it goes down to one man, where most mortars just, that's it. The Hey Mortar can technically keep at it, so that makes it in many ways much harder to deal with. Even like a surprise attack. Pushing back the Hey Mortar there, fighting for the Western victory point. We got 426 with 480. Orange Pest T, back there, reinforcement healing. Could consider taking up there. He could also consider like adding in like an additional infantry element, like a Pantagrenadier squad. You could also go for another MG42, obviously. In this case, he's taking up there. Rushing for armor is honestly not a bad idea at all. It was a Silly Cat. Not a bad idea at all. The faster you can get out armor versus Soviets, the better. Troops sending out here once more for Silly Cat's base and the Dead Army. Moving it with the Pack 40. Troops sitting out there. Adding ambush camouflage to more grenadiers, very good. Conscripts guards moving ahead here. Under 5 from the Jaeger Command Squad, the grenadiers there. We've got some ambush bonus there from the Jaeger Command Squad getting off there. And to drop a few more hits in than the Soviets. Hey Mortar sitting up. Definitely get a bit more movement here, or spread out his men before the Hey Mortar, in particular if like Silly Cat were to barrage with them right here. That could become very devastating for them too fast. We see that he is quick to fall back there in the face of the Soviet Hey Mortar. Machine gun sitting up here. Bit risky positioning, but at the same time, a lot of him out in the open there, and he does get to suppress them. This definitely allows the Orange Pest to make a good push here, completely driving off Silly Cat. The Hey Mortar, oh, mine goes off though. Stops part of the infantry assault. The Hey Mortar still forced retreat. The cutoff point is wide open, and so is the Western fuel point. It was a bit of a risky attack here by Orange Pest. The machine's like, you know, got in the gunner, killed and got even wiped. That would also been really bad, but here it actually worked out for Orange Pest. The infantry probably should have screened it a bit better, but in the end, it did work out. But I will say that that was fairly risky and could have backfired on him. So it's not what I recommend in most cases. Again, not without a sufficient infantry screen to ensure that the infantry gets targeted first, and not the MG42. Field gun halfway done there. No Supporter Corps yet here for Orange Pest. Pushing eastwards there. Of course, we can see the Silly Cat, of course, as soon as Orange Pest starts to extend pressure onto the western side, immediately dive straight for the eastern one there. Very good response there by Silly Cat. Shows that they got a really good idea of the battlefield and how Orange Pest is positioning its forces. Ambush camouflage for the 3rd Grenadier Squad here. It's also like, you know, fairly cheap, so it's easy to equip your men with. Another MG42 for Orange Pest. Once more anti-infantry support. And not bad, but again, apparently would like to see more infantry, like a Panther Grenadier Squad is quite good versus conscripts, and I feel it would just give more aggressive elements, plus the Bound Grenade could give him like a better chance dealing with the Heavy Mortar. So I feel like in this regard, the Panther Grenadier Squad would probably be a bit more suited for Orange Pest, plus the Heavy Mortar, I feel like in some ways makes it a bit hard for him to have like another MG42 out. Not impossibly so, but again, just me though. Ooh, Panther Fast here, Pack 40. Yikes. Yeah, that's a T-70 down. It's Abandoner that. Holy smokes. That is a potentially game-shaking development here in favor of Orange Pest. You can destroy it though. I think there's a good chance of doing it, but imagine if he could. Imagine if he'd been slightly further down there, then got abandoned. There you go, destroys it. Quick and accurate response at the same time, machine up. He's right next to the Heavy Mortar. Ooh. You can imagine that in a Panther Grenadier Squad. He could have really surprised the Heavy Mortar and done some serious damage fast. Again, in this case, the MG42 is definitely doing some surprising as well there. Comrades! Comrades! There's an MG42 behind us! What? How? Ask the infantry, the idiots! He even gets used in Incendiary. In fact, he almost wipes the Heavy Mortar with it. Really just showcasing the power of the Incendiary rounds by the way there. Thumbs up to Orange Pest. That was really brutal. And again, another full right here for Silly Cat in part because again of Orange Pest over aggressive drive, looking for gaps in the opening for enemy lines and then exploiting them, in this case, catching the enemy mortar. So good play there. We got the mechanized armor company up, and even if he can't go for tanks right away, he does open up for the mobilizer cell upgrade, which is really powerful. Orange Pest up moments away from being able to call in the Panther Fort versus Silly Cat. Grab most of the points here. Adding more upgrades to the guns, of course, be good. The G43s are like machine guns. They both work quite well with the ambush camouflage, by the way. Quite well. Yeah, Command being pushed back into the heavy cover there. Constantly engaged and hit on. That's it. Flanks a bit exposed, and there's not support here. We got the Panther Fort. Oh, yeah, there needs to be a retreat there. Up here, though. Also fostering retreat here, as we can see the front line is collapsing steadily. MD42 there, not upgraded with the ambush camouflage, but still a bit of an obstacle there for Silly Cat's forces. Panther Force almost done. Quick rifle grenade here, making use of the trainer that way, catch the guards, no guard. That was really just dangerously close there for Silly Cats. Like, had the rifle grenade been slightly, you know, more lucky, that could have been a full wipe on the guardsman. That would definitely left Silly Cat in a less than silly position. Panther Force right around the corner for Orange Pest and the German army. Grenadier and the Sandy versus 3 full conscripts armored car moving up.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Guards reinforcing healing. Armored car halfway down there towards the east level. Panther Force arriving. That was a very nice shot there. 3 conscripts dead with a single high explosive shell. Pushing again for the eastern fuel point. Really liking this match in terms of flow. Like, neither side really gets too occupied with a single point. They're sort of aggressive, and it's sort of like, you know, got an idea like the other sweet spots that they're constantly looking to exploit them. This is really good play. Excellent top-notch stuff there from both players. Yeah, Command's pushing forwards here. Dealing with the guardsman here. Panther forming 4 bits, a bit slowly perhaps. Might want to also get that fuel point back in hand. But again, the great fuel control here from Orange Pest is also making it very difficult for Silly Cat, like, you know, get into his T-35s, which is very good here for Orange Pest. As a main fact, sure he gets out another tank before Silly Cat even has a chance to get out the first T-35. Could he force him to go for the T-34-6? Certainly a few possibilities here. Need some trouble. There we go. Wipe the stinging blow there to Silly Cat. We got 413 versus 336. Another field gun here for Silly Cat. Troops reinforcing healing. Bring in the replacements. Very aggressively positioned MD42 here from Orange Pest. Not bad at all. Overall nice active MD42 play as well there, which you also find to be crucial as the Wehrmacht. And fun fact, the German infantry squad on average was basically was built around the MD42, light or heavy. So, fun fact there as well. Panther falling forwards here. Guardsmen counter there. Definitely a bit of an aggressive dive here for Orange Pest. I feel like without more infantry, or at least another tank, or at least mechanized infantry, this one feels a bit much here for Orange Pest. Obviously, I can imagine he's going for it because, like, he wants to maybe close out the match now, maybe like deliver, like, you know, a shock blow there to Silly Cat that breaks his morale. But I feel like, you know, with all the other stuff around it, and without a pinlock machine gun crucially in the Panther 4, that was an overreach there by Orange Pest. Again, I can see the logic in it, but I think it's just not enough support nearby to really make that work. Particularly when he's already so far ahead, I also don't feel like it was necessary to risk it. Like, you'd like, you know, allow his opponent to push ahead, extend himself, and then push with the other Panther 4, which he's now is getting. So, perhaps a bit, again, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, I can't remember. Anyways, again, got too eager there. Impatient, there you go, impatient. He got too impatient, I think. That's it. Silly Cat getting close to the T-34-85. Panther 4 number 2 almost done here for Orange Pest. Should remember, I think, to get a pinlock machine gun on that one. There we go. So good. He would also benefit from more to the zone. Even like you can't compete directly with it, it can still provide him with fire support, and crucially can provide him with smoke screens that can allow him to make, you know, his attacks much more efficiently. Once, for example, Silly Cat begins bunching up with the field guns, just throwing smoke around them can significantly impede their effectiveness against your tanks. Now to pull off some great attacks. Yeah, come on, got the counters here. Look straight ahead here. I feel like he should have taken a more deeper path here. And he's kind of flanking, but I feel like he could have gone slightly deeper there. But there you go. Even as it's like, you know, basically I think launching a diversion attack is moving in with most of the infantry to mob up anything in the east here. I think that's a very solid tactical move. But now Silly Cat is seconds away from being able to call in the T-3045, at which point... Oh, that was a great mine. 2 grenadiers plus 2 Jaeger command squad. Gentlemen dead. That's a hell of a mine. And there you go though. Silly Cat with the T-3485. Now things are getting a bit dicey for Orange Pest, in particular because he lost that Panther 4 just moments earlier. Hey, Mortar's also doing some heavy damage here to Orange Pest infantry. Bit of a manpower float, but I imagine he wants to set for that Panther 4, though again, a Panther Grenadier squad or a Mortar here I think would be an excellent addition. He could also consider laying down some mines to slow down any potential advance here from Silly Cat. Silly Cat, crucially, again, taking the path where he's got a pretty good idea there's not a lot there because, again, Orange Pest is focusing hard west. The east side is pretty much not defended. So that is a very good tactical reading here by Silly Cat. Sometimes the best line of attack is to attack where opponent actually isn't. Like some players get so obsessed they'll just try to grind down their opponents, but in many cases, like just looking for opponent isn't is actually a really good move. So there you go. T-3045 ready here for Silly Cat and the Red Army. Panther 4 setting out. May of course want to add the Pintle-mounted MD42. No, he cancelled that actually. Probably wants to have the mission for the artillery and the other stuff there, but really that Pintle-mounted MD42 does add a, I think, substantial amount of anti-infantry damage, which really you do not want to like neglect. T-35 opening up, killing one Pioneer. Here's one move 6 for the heavy mortar, pushing him back near ace level. And these Jaeger multiple advancing, constantly being mowed down out in the open, getting some trouble as well there. Carrying into them with the Gewehr 43. Artillery strike called in, but where? Oh. Yeah, that kind of felt like a waste. But there you go, another Panther 4 for Orange Pest, but you can see their Silly Cat is pushing ahead here for the Red Army. 413% 85. Target weak point here, of course, be great, and there we go. Aiming for it, there we go, good shot. Darton flanking in. Second shot misses. And there you go, Film of the pack crew immediately killing Otto. Darton flying up here with some good hits. Could see the pack wiped out. Definitely hurt here Orange Pest further. There's the Silly Cat M4 remains position. We got this TE-3035 there. Still, Pack 40 keeps added as the MD42 keeps the infantry away from that one. Panther 4 being repaired. Second Panther almost done here. Silly Cat keeps up the offensive for the Red Army. And has now got a Grenadier counterattack here going straight up the center. Feel like he's better off looking like to counterattack by the flanks here. Instead, we got a full-on assault here straight up the middle from Orange Pest, fearlessly ordering his men forwards for Deutschland. Straight into the T-35, but does force the field guns, the Hay-Morton, pretty much anything else that isn't a tank to immediately fall back hard. And even the T-35, due to how damaged it is, actually falls back, so it's clearly working out, but definitely I feel like could have pulled off a flank to make for a bit more damage, but it did the job. Pushed back Silly Cat for sure, so you know, it's obviously not bad what he did there. Not one bit. It works. In this case, Maxim finally out. Of course, had the Maxim been there, he would have been punished, but it wasn't. Now we got the attack force back, but again, he's pretty much just driven his opponent back all the way to his base, so clearly not all bad. Also, yeah, he actually makes use of the smoke grenade. Thumbs up to that. Panther 4 with a damaged engine. Back here for Orange Pest, and nothing further transpiring. Jaeger Command Squad finally retreating, but a bit too late. It could cost him the Jaeger Command Squad. And he loses the Panther 4 as well there. Oof. Suddenly, things are looking less great here for Orange Pest. That cost him a lot there. That cost him a lot. Again, a mortar could have been helpful. Applying smoke there for the retreating Panther 4. So yeah, in the end, once more. Perhaps got a bit too impatient, or Riga, I don't know. But that was definitely well exploited here by Silicat and then punished him. Still, Orange Pest is far ahead in a lot of ways, so he is far from out of the match, and he definitely, I think, can afford these kind of losses more, though I don't think can afford many more, because the Soda kind of factions can really punish you if you start making like silly losses like that too much. But the Wehrmacht is kind of one of those factions we can't really afford too many mistakes either. So it's definitely, you know, kind of time to hit the tipping point, then Orange Pest really needs to be a bit more careful. Machine gun wipe there. Now things are getting incredibly uncomfortable there for Orange Pest. That's suddenly a lot of wipes in a short amount of time there. Machine gun destroyed, so here now is a way of really controlling the infantry masses. You can soon go for another Panther 4, but honestly there's the T-35, and, you know, with the loss of all the other stuff, you may want to consider Stug to help deal with the T-35 a bit more efficiently. Also, another E command squad, of course, also be very good. Maxim at it, again making high for Orange Pest use to what infantry he has, but he's clearly going for that other Panther 4. Pioneers here. Looks like they're slightly forgotten there by Orange Pest. Armored car near ace level. Could launch up a flank here, hit this weapons there. But there you go, second Panther 4 again here for Orange Pest and the German army. Armored car looking up to sneak on the flank, sneak up on the flank. Artillery strike called in here on Silicat, forcing him to retreat here. The light infantry Geschütz. Supporting here the 2nd Panzergrenadier Company.
Enemy forces are capturing our supplies. T-34, crude loaded and ready. AT gun here.
Mortar fire here on the Gundis. Fun fact though about the light infantry guns, as the war went on and the Germans, you know, started to use the heavy mortar more and more, they would actually start to replace the light infantry guns with heavy mortars. Since the heavy mortar in many ways kind of did the job of the light infantry gun, but crucially a bit more efficient, and they can be more easily moved about. So, little fun side note. They're interesting force going for that heavy mortar. Panther 4 they need repairs, 8 kills, veterans who 1. Big push here by Silicat, definitely spotting again the weakening here of Orange Pest frontline forces to dive in more aggressively here. Of course, the Kev does make the same mistake Orange Pest did. But as long as he does, he can definitely do a lot of damage here to Orange Pest now. Pack 14, a lot of trouble. We got Mark vehicle here as well on something, though I'm not entirely sure which of the 2 tanks. There's the Panther 4 here. Pushing forwards here, looking to take out that T-35. Need to careful with the field guns. Though he is wherever they are, in fact, being driven back here with the Gundis. He's really looking to take out the T-35 here. Pretty risky here by Orange Pest, to be honest. But there you go. Shot bounces, damage engine. No armored cars flying support, I think. He also looking to keep other things away from it. There we go. Got the T-35. Gundis still dealing with the field guns. A really aggressive drive. Even got the 2nd Panther 4 now moving in here for Orange Pest. Really bold. We got the 8 command squad out. They need more troops up here and need to get the armor now out of there somehow. He is taking a much safer path here with the other Panther 4 that's got a damage engine. Very good. Really aggressive attacks here for Orange Pest. Liking it. Another T-35 from Silicat. Though I imagine Silicat is not liking this much. Armor car they also had it with its 200 cannon. Both Panther 4s are successfully, for now at least, evading destruction here by the Red Army. We got 413 versus 132. Troops reinforcing healing. Jaeger command squad up here. There's the Guardsman gun. He's charging ahead again. He's really also making very efficient use of the sprint ability. So many players, if they do a foot, don't actually make use of the sprint ability, but it's really good to get your main weapon fast. It works also particularly well with Panzer Grenadiers, or if you're playing encirclements, Stormtroopers. Like, it's a great ability.
We have a new T-34 standing by.
In fact, he's almost got full bingo, except he hasn't used the Stuka anti-tank strafe.
Cut off.
So, thumbs up there, particularly because he's using some of those really overlooked abilities of the commander. Like, most people just go for it, like for the 8 command squad, the strafe, and the artillery, and then neglect both the Eagle infantry upgrade, but also the ambush training and all that it offers. 413 was on 18. Said his tanks are kind of a bit all over the place. He also really wants more pioneers to repair that much armor and vehicles, honestly. T-34 roaming about aggressively here. Right, the Conquest there. Good push them Orange Pest. Before they've been caught, he could be destroyed. That would be a bit of a problem there. Plus flanking in 22.
Do not let this trend continue.
97 versus 413. There we go. Quick to crew the Pat 40 up. Panther shoots, misses the T-3045. A mortar at it. Shot bounces off the Panther frontal armor. Get it from the Pack 40 there, punch straight for the T-55 side armor. Now this is a great hit here. Panther will be pushed back.
One of our machine guns has been silenced.
And he's being bombarded here by the T-35. Field bombarding here as well. Okay, mortar at it. That's a lot of exposed infantry, honestly, for Orange Pest. That could quickly go poorly. There you go. He does wisely retreat his men here. Got 413 to 89. Silly Cat definitely looking very, very precious in the victory point department, and needs to shut that down now. Coming eastwards here. So what will Silly Cat and Orange Pest do next? Philip moving ahead here. Panther 4 still need to repace. He's only still got one Pioneer squad to repair all of that armor. Definitely should go for more Pioneers. 29 kills on those guardsmen, really showing their stuff there. East level, going for the northern victory point as well. Probing the lines here. I believe he might be bombarding the MD-42 position now. Got the field ready with the advancing Panther. There we go. Close hit there. Panther down to half health. Oh, they're going to move to the line of fire with the heavy mortar. They're not careful. Almost got it wiped. 8 kills halfway to the ace level. 40 getting the ace level as well there. Nasty hit there, but not as nasty as it could have been, honestly. Right here in the center there, go. Lost the Jaeger command squad again. How painful. 390 versus 289.
Supply sector under attack.
Armor still needing repairs. T-Fed good to go again. We got the guns in trouble. We got the T-Fed wing shoots, misses, but there's still so many conscripts and the guards remain in a massive blob of infantry. Gunneer squad needs to retreat. Schnell. Oh, that's going to be too late now. That's going to be another white pin Orange Pest. Other gunneer squad also in trouble here. Situation is suddenly falling apart at a much more aggressive pace here. Gunneer squad got wiped as well. And there we go. With that, he just gives up. Apparently feeling that the situation is spiraling uncontrollably with all of these sudden infantry losses, Orange Pest concedes in the face of Silly Cat. A fierce fight here on Bocage, though. In the end, I mean, Orange Pest really had like a good hand for the most part, but again, at times I think drove too far with his armor. Could instead, like, you know, perhaps played slightly more defensively with his infantry, waited at least for Silly Cat to make some attack because he had to, and then counterattack, and I think much more, you know, drive value from that. Some Panther still also feel like been a great addition here for Orange Pest, maybe instead of that second MD-42. Probably also the loss of that one might also driven a bit the reasoning for him to concede, plus some other elements. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell friends, tell family, but don't tell enemies. This is Imperial Ancient. Cheers. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow again for a nice episode. Bye.